today we're going to talk about making peace with being single. How do you make peace with being single? Especially if you are getting close to a certain age. Because I know, especially if you're in your 20s and you're approaching the big 3-0, I know it gets very scary, because I've been there. It is so scary at that stage in your life, because you have been conditioned to think that you should have all these things, achieve all these things at a certain age, and we have all these expectations and goals that these goals that we have before we the age of 30. Well, basically society has conditioned us to believe that we should achieve all these things by the time we are 30. Now, what you have to understand is that we are living in different times. This is 2023. This is not the 1950s. This is not the 1940s. This is not the 1920s, and it's not the 1800s. In those days, getting all of that stuff, getting a house, starting a family, getting married before the age of 30 made so much sense. Doing all of that by the age of 30 in those times made a lot of sense, because those times were different. People didn't live as long. Technology wasn't as advanced as it is now. Women did not go to college. Hell, most men didn't go to college or universities or anything like that. People that had education after primary school, because I don't know, what do you all call primary school in the United States? Do you call it elementary school? Most people did not even had a high school education. Most people didn't have an education beyond elementary school, because my grandmother didn't have an education after elementary school, so she did not go to high school. So if you're in your 20s and even in your 30s, just listen up, okay? And I'm going to share with you the advice that I would give my 20-something-year-old self, but I just want to let you ladies know that maybe there's a possibility that your goals can be unrealistic. And I hate saying that word unrealistic, because honestly no goal is really unrealistic, but I think like the time period, like the time frame and the deadline that you're giving yourself is unrealistic. All right, I'm talking about back in the days, in our grandparents days and great-grandparents days, there wasn't anyone that was in college well into their 20s and going to their first job at the age of 23 or 24 or whatever. People wasn't doing that. People were already married, own a home in those times, because those were simpler times. So at the end of the day, that that whole narrative about doing all of this stuff by the time you're 30, all of that stuff made sense in a different era. Hi Melania, I'm seeing the opposite now. A lot of women aren't wanting marriage or kids. They want money and commerce now. Yeah, and that makes sense, because we have realized that, well, first of all, the men aren't keeping up. They are not keeping up with our achievements at all, unfortunately. A lot of men are not going to college. A lot of men are not starting businesses. A lot of men aren't making as much money as some of you all are making. It is the reality. And I talked about this on my Patreon some time ago, where I basically shared the statistics about where men are right now in these current times. So I feel like men have a lot of catching up to do. Men have a lot of inner work to do, and a lot of spiritual work to do. Like, men really have to work on themselves, but we came from a time where they didn't have to. Men didn't have to work on themselves. They didn't have to work on. You didn't have to go to therapy. They did not have to work on being a better person. They did not have to work on being a better provider. They didn't have to do none of that stuff. All they had to do was just have a job and be able to provide for a family, which was easier back then because it was possible on one income. Okay, women weren't pursuing careers, etc. Like, all of that stuff did not exist. All right, so all a man had to do was prove that he could provide for a family. That's it. And let me tell you something, in this day and age, basically, my window is open and that's my neighbor, if you're hearing a car starting up. Yeah, so basically, if you hear, what was I saying? Okay, basically anybody could provide for a family, and you do not have to be a male to do that. You can be a woman, because a lot of women are breadwinners. So if you're in your 20s right now and you getting close to 30, like let's say like between the age of 26 and 29, every year that goes by, you are going to feel depressed. You're going to feel like a loser. You're going to feel like, you know, you're doing all of this stuff and you have nothing to show for it. All of that is normal. And the reason why it's normal to feel that way is because we have so many expectations on us, you know, that were imposed on us based on expectations of the past. So we have to stop treating life like if we're still in the early 1900s or in the 1800s. We have to stop treating life like that. How are you going to be able to get married and start a family when you're still in school, when you're still in college, like when you literally just start, you know, recently just started a job, like you recently started a career, you've only been in your field like for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. It's not possible because, you know, we are no longer living in a time where a man will come in and be like, hey, you don't have to work, I will take care of you. Those days don't exist anymore. Most of these men require their wives to work and help with the bills. Most men, that's what they require. And this is not something new because men have been putting their wives to work for a very long time. It has been happening a long time. Women have always been working because I know people think that, you know, women only just started working after the 1950s. No, women have always been working. If you go back to caveman days, women were working, they were gathering. Okay? So it's not like if we wasn't working. We have always been working. Don't let anyone fool you and make you believe that, you know, we were living in this utopia where nobody, all the women were stay-at-home wives, like Stepford wives or whatever. Nobody's talking about the abuse, the financial abuse, how unreliable men are, how some of them were. Sorry about that. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, type in the comments yes, because I had to change my network, switch over to my data. Yes, even being a stay-at-home wife is work. Yes, women have always been working. So don't let nobody fool you and make you believe that that was not the case. And, you know, women would just had access to bank accounts and, you know, they would just go and take out money and go shopping and bake cakes and put it on the windowsill, you know, not cakes, pies. All of that was a period in time that was very brief. And most of the women that experienced that were women that were in upper class. And even upper class women had work to do. Okay, they needed to keep records. That was one of the reasons why the upper class will educate their women. They needed them to take records, you know, manage staff, manage a household. All of that stuff was required of a wealthy wife, and it still is to this day. So if you do not have those skills, you need to go and learn how to have those skills, because I made an entire list in the SAS group about the duties of a wealthy wife. And if you do not have those skills, you need to work on those skills. All right, it's in the group. I think we also talked about it on the Patreon. So if you're not on the Patreon, you need to join so that you can get some life-changing information that can help you on your level up. Like the reason why I'm here is so that I can take you to the next level. We don't have time to be sitting in bars like you know. I always say that I'm always going to take a dig at the old school level up advice that basically came from escorts anyways. But anyways, I digress. I made it. Hey Tanika, remember that the expectations that you have is something that was very old. It's an old tradition, and that times have changed. And we need, and okay, the reason why you're single is not because you're not desirable, or it's not because you can't get a man. That's not the reason why you're single, and you know that. The reason why you're single is because you are choosing not to settle. Because it's very easy to get a man. It's very easy to get a man to marry you. If you're willing to accept the bare minimum, if you're willing to go 50-50, you are going to find a man like that. Okay? Because there were times that, you know, when I look back, there were times that I could have, you know, married someone if I wanted to. But I didn't want to marry those people because they were just not for me. Like, it's not what I wanted. Because at the end of the day, when you look at marriage, okay, it's not about, oh, you and this person in love and, you know, you come together and it's all love, love, love and mushy love and kisses. No, it's about lifestyle, okay? It's about responsibility. Marriage is more than just, you know, love. It's about managing finances. All of this stuff helps maintain a marriage and keep a marriage working. Because if you just go into marriage just for love, that's literally the biggest mistake you could ever make in your life. Because love don't pay bills, and love alone cannot sustain a marriage. I remember seeing an article saying that the smartest women tend to remain single for longer. And I believe it. I mean, listen, when I look back, okay, and I look back at my 20s where I felt so miserable because, you know, I wasn't the one getting married. I wasn't getting proposed to. I mean, I did get proposal, but I turned them down, you know. So, and those proposals don't even count because I didn't want those guys. I just didn't. But the reason why you're single is because you have standards. You have standards, you have expectations, and you're not settling for mediocrity. And unfortunately, most men are mediocre. So the advice I would give my young self, my younger self, you know, my desperate self, my sad self, you know, my struggling self, the message, the advice that I would give my younger self in my 20s is that keep investing in yourself and keep chasing your dreams and your goals. Because I wish I had put more focus into those things than trying to get a relationship, trying to secure a relationship, all this dating, putting up with guys because they were successful or they look good on paper, but they weren't treating me right. Like, all that time I wasted, I could have used that time to invest in myself, and I wouldn't have to be doing all of this now in my 40s. Also, it depends on what stage you're marrying the man in. Is he just starting out building in his career, or is he fully established? This is a big part of marrying too. Yes, absolutely. And I feel like, you know, if you come from generational poverty, you do not want a man, most likely you probably do not want a man who is just starting out. You probably want someone that's already established. Because I feel like the people that get into these relationships where they both just starting out and it works, it actually works, are people that already come from money. They have a support system, they have something that they can fall back on. Okay, but if you go in a marriage with someone and that person is just starting out and you are also just starting out, or maybe you have already been established in your career, most likely you are going to be the breadwinner. You are going to be you're going to have to raise that man. You will also have to make sacrifices so that he can advance in his career. So all of these things you have to take into consideration. You don't just get married just for getting married sake. So at the end of the day, I want you, if you're in your 20s, stop feeling that like a failure. You are not a failure. Okay, if you have been working on yourself and you've been working on your career, you went to school, you learned some skills, you got your degree, you are already on the right path, you are doing well. The biggest mistake you can make right now is to settle for a guy just because you want a man, or just because you want to get married, and just because you want to have children. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, our education and the sacrifices that we made helps us come out of, you know, poverty or struggle. If you in the book club, we just read some amazing books that, you know, will teach you about the hidden rules of class, etc. And I do recommend that you join. If you're listening on YouTube, hit the link below and come and join the book club. Oh, and by the way, let me just apologize for not going live on Friday. I can't believe I already started talking and I did not listen. I've been really, really busy with you know, duties of my club, which I'm not going to mention because I do not know who's listening. But yeah, I was busy with those duties because, as you all know I'm in a non-profit. I belong to a non-profit organization, community-based club. Some of you already know that. Okay, so I've been really busy and I just couldn't do Friday. Like, it just couldn't happen. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, we are back on track. I know today is Thursday, so we're gonna get back on track, back on the schedule. Don't worry. All right. So yes, there we go. By the way, did you all even miss me? Because no one came in my DMs and they were like, "Hey, did you go live Friday?" Like, none of y'all came in my DMs. So I'm like, did you even miss me? Because I don't know. Investing in myself now is what I learned to do the hard way as well. But what matters is we are here and not going to backslide. Investing in self will always have invaluable benefits. Thank you, Tanika, for that amazing comment. And you are absolutely 100% correct. You are right. Julie said I did. Okay, I was looking out for you last Friday. Okay, because I was wondering. I'm like, did these bitches even miss me? But anyways, I was just wondering. I don't know. So the real Michelle said we always miss you. Okay, ladies. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Ladies, if you're in your 20s, just relax. Relax. What you need to be focusing on in your 20s is on your career, because we're not going back to those old days where you didn't need a career. You need it. You need a career. You need to invest in yourself. You need to be able to make money, your own money. I don't care what nobody, I don't care what sugar baby guru or whoever the hell level up person that you're talking to. I don't care. If you're not making your own money, you are irresponsible. I don't want to hear nothing about soft life and all that bullshit. I don't want to hear that. If you have not created financial security for yourself, you are financially irresponsible. All right? We talked about this when we discussed in our How to Hide Money from Our Husband series. We also mixed Trixie. It's been a while. She made an appearance. Or sometimes she okay, well, the door is closed so she can't come in. But sometimes she's around during the Zoom meetings. It's just that you all don't see her because I usually have my camera off. But Trixie's around and she's doing quite well. I did DM you, and when you say why you missed on Patreon, I unsend. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Thank you. At least I know I was missed because I was like yeah. All right. So by the way, like, again, you cannot be financially irresponsible. In this day and age, as women, we have to grow up, because at the end of the day, we put way too much trust in men. We trust them to lead, we trust them to make good decisions, etc. And most men are not even capable of doing that. I personally believe that women are better leaders. I personally believe that, but that's my belief and my opinion, and you can argue about it if you want. I don't care. But I just feel like no, we can't put all that responsibility on men, because men have proven time and time again that they cannot be trusted, unfortunately. Okay, they have proven to us that they are unreliable, they are selfish, they are reckless. This is their nature. All right, and I know it's a shadow side, but again, it comes with men. They are always going to have their shadow side. Nobody's going to be 100% light and then 100% shadow. Everybody is going to be on the spectrum somewhere or the other. Yeah. And the reason why we're here today, the reason why we had the women's liberation movement, you know, feminism, etc., is because the old model did not work. It just did not work. We couldn't rely on men to be decent providers. We couldn't rely on them to provide a certain lifestyle for us, because as a woman, you always want more. That's just our nature, I guess. Maybe nothing is ever enough for us. I don't know. But it is what it is. So at the end of the day, that's why we're here today. And this is why, you know, we are doing way better than our female ancestors. This is an opportunity of a lifetime in history as women. We can turn swing the pendulum, and we can turn everything around, and we can finally have a seat at the table where we belong. Okay, because the patriarchy pushed us out. And I know all of this stuff sounds like feminism, but I don't really give a shit right now. I just want you to know that you have to grow up and you have to become financially responsible. You have to learn about finances. You need to become financially literate, ladies. Okay, I do not know what them other gurus are telling you all, but here we are financially responsible, and we make our own money, and we create multiple streams of income here. That's what we do here. I now have a theory, hypothesis about men that popped up during our last Patreon. Well, share it, girl. I would be happy to hear your theory. My great grandma had 12 kids. I always think she must be looking down at me, beaming at my freedom. Yes, they did. Listen, they did not have a choice. You think and the thing is, being a housewife is a job. Being a housewife is a job. So, you know, our labor has been exploited for hundreds of years. Now we are getting paid for our labor, and people have the audacity to be mad and want to turn things around, and you're out here acting like it's not a big deal. It's a big fucking deal. All right. So yes. So what you need to focus on in your 20s is yourself. Investing in yourself. Learn as many skills as possible. Invest in your hobbies. Invest in your lifestyle. Invest in your financial freedom. Invest in your looks. Okay, maintain your looks, because you can look really good well into your 40s and 50s. Freeze your eggs if you have to, because I am not guaranteeing that you're going to be married within the next year. I know that most of y'all are going to get married. If that is what you want, most of you are going to get married eventually, but I cannot tell you when it's going to happen. If I had a crystal ball, I would be rich. So I cannot tell you when it's going to be happen. You're not going to be alone. All right, do not be afraid. Do not be worried about the biological clock, which we know is basically a lie, because women in their 40s and 50s are still getting pregnant. Okay, freeze your eggs, focus on yourself, because I do not know when you're going to have that marriage and that family. I do not know. It could be in a month, it could be in the next year, it could be in the next 3 years, it could be in the next 10 years. I do not know. But what are you doing in between that time you're waiting for the right man to come along? You have to be doing something. You can't just be sitting there just waiting and swiping on Tinder. That's a waste of time and energy. Okay, you need to be working on yourself and working on becoming the high value woman that you claim that you are. And where you are right now, it's not going to be the same in the next few years. Okay, the person you are now is attracting a certain man, certain type of man. The person that you're going to be within the next 3 to 5 years is going to attract a different set of men. The more you work on yourself, the more you work on your self-concept and your self-love, the more you choose yourself, the better people you attract into your life, including men. It's that simple. So stop worrying about turning 30, okay? And the reason why I can say that is because I was there. I was there in my 20s. Because in your 20s, everything just feels so urgent. Like, you know, you always feel like you have to hurry. You run out of time. Oh, and you want this and you want it now. And like there's always this kind of weird urgency. Like if you have been in your 20s, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm 32 and so disappointed on these men. Okay, and listen, I was there too. I was in my 30s, my early 30s, and completely done and completely disappointed. And the day I made peace with being single, that's when my husband came into my life. When you hit 30, you just stop worrying. Yeah, when I hit 30 on my 30th birthday, I sat in the house and cried. And you know what? I'm glad that happened. Because I was going to party on my 30th birthday, and I felt like if I had brought in my 30th birthday party in, I probably would have gone on another decade, you know, just being irresponsible and, you know, chasing escapism. I was most worried 28, 29. Okay, yeah. That is normal. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, girl. Yeah, like everything, you always feel like you run out of time, you don't have much time. Time is ticking. I need to do this and I need to do it fast, and you're always looking for the fastest way to do something. That's not how life works. All right? If you look at women in business, women in politics, these women are literally in their 60s and 70s, still working, still making achievements as they go on. They're still living life. Okay, you're not going to expire. You're going to expire when you're ready to expire, but you're not going to expire. And this is one of the reasons why I don't believe in retirement, because I feel like, you know, retirement is a poor man's goal. Because when you look at wealthy people, you look at millionaires and billionaires, these people stay working till the day they die. These people never stop working. And when I say working, I don't mean like a 9 to 5. Of course, they're not going to work long hours or anything like that, but they're still working and they're still earning money. They're still putting themselves out there. They're still networking. They're still doing a bunch of things. I get inspired by women in business and politics who accomplish and killing it. Yeah. We hit the wall at 25. That's okay. Okay? If I were you, I'd be excited to hit the wall because that wall looks really good. Have you seen women past 25? Have you seen women in the 30s and 40s and 50s? How well they're doing? They're still getting married. So yeah, the more you network, you realize there's more to life than getting married. Yep, that is true. That is true. There's more to life than getting married. So ladies, you gotta make peace with being single. And that is not going to be easy because that was the hardest thing for me. I felt defeated. I felt disenchanted, disillusioned, disappointed. Like all those feelings I felt when I finally came to that point in my life where I was like, you know what? I came out of a relationship. You know, I left my ex and I was like done. I was so done. I'm like, this can't be life. Like, I'm putting myself out there, I'm dating, I'm getting in relationships, and nothing is working. So yeah, I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just gonna focus on myself. I don't even want to think about men right now because by the time I met my husband, well, I had met him before I broke up with my ex, but by the time I came back home and, you know, my husband was, you know, before he was my husband, he started pursuing me. I was not interested. I was so done. Like, I was so over it. So over it. I'm 37 and feel like I'm in my prime, attracting men of literally all ages. Girl, I'm 44 and I still attract men of all ages. Like, there was this 20-something-year-old in my DMs the other day, and I'm like, boy, go clean behind your ears. So, I mean, I hope that this live was helpful, especially to the young ladies. And, you know, going back, you know, looking at my younger self, there were so many things that I could have done different. But one of the things that I would tell my younger self is invest in yourself, invest in that course, get that diploma, get that certificate, make that sacrifice, learn new skills, go out there and network. That's something that I would have definitely done my 20-something year old self, because I wasn't doing none of that stuff. I was not networking. All I did was go to work and come home and you know, watch TV in my spare time or whatever. I'm 42 and attract late 20s and not proud. I mean, if you listen, don't, I know it's annoying, but it's still, look at it as a good thing, because it means that you're looking good. You still look good. All right? You still got it. And, you know, sometimes, you know, as an older woman, you think, well, you know, this person is probably looking for a mother or a sugar mama or something, or a cougar, and, you know, I'm not into that. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't take it as an insult. You know, it is flattering, but I don't take it seriously. Thanks for this live. The best thing I did was delay having kids. And that's awesome. That's awesome. All right? We no longer living in the old times where a woman was only good for popping out babies and taking care of her home and her husband. Times have changed. The opportunities that you have now, your ancestors wish they had those opportunities. They really wish. I know women that would tell me that they feel like their mothers are jealous of them, because their mothers basically got married and all they ever did was look after that man, never pursued any of their goals or dreams, never traveled. Like, there's a lot of things that a lot of women sacrifice. And when I say a lot of women, I'm talking about our mothers and aunties and grandmothers, because they felt like they didn't have any options. You can literally be anything you want to be right now, right this minute. And you can be at whatever age and start over, or start a new career, or learn a new hobby or a new skill or whatnot, and find fulfillment in that. All right? So again, I'm a married woman, and I did not get married until I was 33 years old. What I want you to understand, ladies, is that even if it hadn't happened, I would have still focused on myself and still worked on myself, focus on self-development. I would still do the things I'm doing right now, but I don't want you to think that, oh, well, you married and, you know, why are you coming up here and telling us, you know, be okay with being single? It's because the moment I decided that I was going to be okay with being single, that's when things started working out for me. All I was doing was chasing, putting men on a pedestal, etc. And again, the reason why you're single is not because you're not marriage material. It's not that. It's your options. Your options are not that great. All right? The men that are interested in you, because I'm sure each and every one of you can find a man to marry you tomorrow. Y'all know I'm not kidding. But again, we have standards. You have standards. You have created a lifestyle for yourself, and you want to maintain that lifestyle or make it even better. You do not want someone to come into your life and take it away or just make your life worse. That's why you're single, because at the end of the day, anybody can get a man. Anybody can get a man to marry them. Even prostitutes can get a man to marry them. So at the end of the day, it's not you. It's not because, you know, there's something wrong with you. It's because you have standards, and, you know, a lot of men that you're dealing with right now are not meeting those standards, and that is okay. You just keep your standards. Never compromise, ever. Remember what we talk about in the book club about, you know, not compromising. You never compromise. All right. So with that being said, if anyone has any questions, you can ask now. Like, I don't understand how it's raining, but it's so hot. Anyways, if you have any questions right now, type your questions in the comment, and I guess I can try to answer your questions. Ooh, child. Why is it so hot? I give them too much of an importance. Okay, maybe I put them in a pedestal. Yeah, take men off the pedestal. Take marriage off the pedestal, because marriage is on a pedestal because it has been propped up by society. And when you really look at the statistics, and you peel back the facade, you will understand that marriage benefits men more than it does women. So when you decide to get married, you better make sure that you choose right. You choose someone that is going to come and add to you, and he's not going to be the only one benefiting in that marriage. So at the end of the day, marriage is a patriarchal system, and it has been put on a pedestal, and women have been tricked to believe that marriage should be the ultimate goal, and marriage is always on a carrot stick, and it's always on a pedestal. And I'm like, girl, come on, there's more to life than marriage. When I took marriage off the pedestal, the way I dated, the way I interacted with men changed. Y'all, hold on, because I can't. Yeah. So the way I interacted with men changed when I decided to take men and marriage off the pedestal. I felt like I could be more like myself, because before I always felt like I had to customize my personality, or behave a certain way, and walking on eggshells, trying not to scare them away. Like, after I did that, I took them off the pedestal. Like, any man that come into my life, like, I didn't give a shit. Like, I did not hide my personality. I did not try to hide my faults or anything like that. I put myself on a pedestal. That's what I did. So the thing is, okay, in your opinion, what is the benefit of marriage for women? There isn't a lot of benefits, all right? But I'm going to share how I benefited from marriage. First of all, I choose someone that obviously loved me more than I love him, and someone that was quite happy in investing in me. Someone that did not require me to work and pay bills, basically help them to maintain their lifestyle. I choose someone that wanted to invest in me, and someone that actually care about my well-being, and someone that actually loved me. Not someone that be like, oh yeah, she can do and she can be a good wife because she work at this place, and she's a doctor or some bullshit like that. No, it wasn't like that. And my husband was already investing in me, and he was doing things for me that was not going to benefit him, like things that would only benefit me. All right. So that's how I knew. So I chose someone that was pouring into me, not someone that wanted to consume, because most men are consumers and they want to consume you. And marriage is a way that they can consume you. They can basically use up your resources, your labor, everything, and leave you depleted. So that, number one. Okay, number two, it provided security for me, because I chose someone that was already established. Okay, so he was already a homeowner. He had 2 homes, he had land, everything. So we were not on the market searching for a house like he did. He wasn't paying a mortgage or none of that stuff. Like, this was someone that was established. All right, he wasn't renting or none of that stuff, because if you get in a relationship with someone who is paying a mortgage or is renting, at some point in time they're going to be asking you to help with the rent or help with the mortgage, and I didn't want to deal with that. Okay, like, I didn't want that instability. So that being married provided that stability for me, so where I can relax and focus on my goals even more, in the sense that I didn't have to worry about clocking in a 9 to 5. I could work if I wanted to. I didn't have to work if I didn't want to. I mean, I always had, like, my little side hustle. Like, I was always making money, so like, I'm always that girl. But for the first time in my life, like, I felt like I can actually relax and focus, take my energy and focus on doing other things. Okay, so that's how it benefited me. And it also benefits you, because society puts marriage on a pedestal. As a married woman, people tend to respect you more, and people tend to listen to you more. Because I know for a fact, and I asked you ladies this, and you ladies were very honest. Thank you for being honest. I know for a fact that if I wasn't married, if I was still single, half of y'all wouldn't listen to me. Most of y'all would not listen to me. And I feel like that's another way that marriage has benefited me. But at the end of the day, a lot of women are in marriages where they're not benefiting at all. You wouldn't be. I just turned the AC on. You wouldn't be like, you turned on the AC. I just did, girl. Leave me alone. You look fantastic, Miss. Do you have any new affirmations for us? Not really. Not today. Not today. Yes, my sister used to work at a hospital, and she says you can very easily tell the elderly men who are married versus not. Wow, that's crazy. Marriage gives also higher social status for men. It gives them value. It does. And it's not just for men. Like, as a woman, like, anything you want to do, you want to start a business, you want to get a loan, you want to get a mortgage, or You know, you want to start networking, you want to join an organization or a specific society, whatever. When you married, people look at you with more respect and you seem to be less threatening as a married woman. That is crazy, and I know it's unfair, but please, if you're single, don't let none of that shit stop you, because you are also valuable at the end of the day. Don't feel any less valuable just because you're not married. The married ones are well groomed and well kept and healthier, while the non-married ones will not. Wow, you see? I want a provider and one that adores me, and you deserve that. Okay, I really hope that you're safe in this life. Yes, I am. This message is just truth. Yes, it is, girl. Yes, he gives you safety. Yes, I will definitely listen. I accept great advice always. Well, yeah, that's you, and that's not everyone is like you. A lot of women would not listen to me if I wasn't married. With the last live we uploaded on YouTube, girl, I've been having some technical issues. I am looking for that live because I cannot find it. Okay, so I may have to go in my archives and re-download it, because if I don't, I am so sorry, but it will be posted, don't worry. Anyways, I can't even remember what the hell we talked about in the last live, y'all. Like, it was 2 weeks ago. But any more questions? But anyways, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. If I wasn't married, a lot of people would not listen to me, would not have given me the time of day. Okay, which is crazy when you really think about it. It's so crazy. And it's the same for men, because you know, a lot of men know that when they're married, you know, it gives them more respect in their career. Like, most politicians would not be taken seriously if they were not married. Have you ever seen a single president? A single prime minister? I've never seen it. Maybe it exists, but I've never seen it. I mean, I'm sure there's outliers, but I've never seen it. Anybody that is holding any kind of status in society, any kind of position in society, they are always married. Did being married help you in getting into the social club you're currently in? No, it did not help me at all. But I feel like if I was single, I feel like people would have been looking at me funny. That's all I'm saying. But you know, there are some single women in the club. Some of them are widowed and some of them are single, but most of the women are married, most of them. But there's a few single women in the club. But those women are kind of invisible though, because like, you know, they don't really do anything. Like, they don't sit on the board or anything like that. Like, it's weird. Like, it's so weird. One of the past Haitian president married his baby mama of 20 years 1 year before running to office. That is so, see, that is so crazy. That is so crazy. Like, I wouldn't have voted for him, because I would have been like, why were you with this woman for 20 years? Like, if I see that shit, I'm not voting. Well, I don't vote, period. But if I were a voter, I'm not voting for someone who had a baby mama for 20 years and married her the last minute. Hell no. The single women in my club are treated as like lepers. Good. That is insane. So wait, I wish this was a Zoom, because I would have asked you to get on the mic. Like, can you explain? Like, can you share more details on that? Like, why? Yes, Sarkozy present divorced and was single the first month of his presidential, but got married within his first year of presidency with Carla Bruno. Sarkozy, is that the French prime minister or something? The president? Like, I'm confused. Is he the? I could be wrong though. Is he the French president, or was the French president? I don't know. Y'all know I don't really pay attention to politics anyway, so I don't know. And these people barely ever saw a former French president. Okay, thanks. Yes, because I know that name sounded familiar. Most of them never even saw my husband. Like, my husband, sometimes he will pick me up, he will drop me off. You know, sometimes I would drive. But I'm telling you, like, I felt like if I was single, this is a great topic, uncomfortable but really important. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But please, just because you're single, do not join a club. Okay? And if you're under 30, there's nothing wrong with being single, because people expect you to be single anyways. 52% of American women are single. So yeah, and that's high. That's high. And you know, one of these days, you know, people are going to finally stop judging people for being single and look at people for who they are. Okay, but you see, the thing is, being married, it proves that you can coexist with someone. It proves that you are responsible. Okay, it proves that you can work in a team, like all of that stuff. So that's one of the reasons why, you know, people prefer to hire married people, or, you know, choose married people for certain tasks, etc. So, you know, I get it. Because, you know, being married means that you have to worry about other people other than yourself. You know what I mean? And, you know, if you haven't been able to convince someone to marry you, then people will be like, yeah, well, I don't know about that. Like, there's something wrong here. Like, that's the first thing people think. And I hate that. I'm telling you, people treated me better when I got married. And this is just regular ass people. Like, when I went out to work, because I went out to work once for about a year after marriage, because I haven't really worked a 9 to 5. I've only done it once within the 10 years I've been married. And the level of respect that you get from the interview, when you get the job, and it's so different. I do not know why society hates single people, particularly single men, because single men, they struggle too. So it's not just us women, it's not just us ladies. Okay, most married women get on the throne and think they are the ish. I know, they are crazy, right? Like, I'm telling you, like, the reason why I'm not one of those women is because marriage is not all that packed up to be. I do not have marriage on a pedestal, which is why I don't act like those women. And I don't put men on a pedestal either. I'm not one of those, like, my man, my husband. Like, ew, stop. Like, what about you? Like, don't you have an identity outside of your marriage, outside of your husband? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Try to join another club like the equivalent of yours, and I attended some events, and when the women heard I'm not married and I'm quite younger, it was just weird vibes all around. Forget those women. They are never invited to fellowship events because they don't have kids. They don't receive invites to birthday parties. I never felt inadequate about my status, though I network with married ladies. Wow, that is so crazy. Single women and married women do not get along. That is weird. I get along very well with single women and other married women. I'm actually in the board of my Rotary Club already as chair of public image, so I think people sense that I don't feel insecure, and that's great. That's great. Like, do not feel insecure. Do not put, let me tell you something. One of the things that you have to do is, before you even start leveling up, is taking people out of the pedestal. I'm working on something, ladies, and you know, stay tuned. I think in years to come, maybe 2080, marriage will lose its value and nobody will care. I mean, yeah, but you know who's still going to be marrying? Wealthy people. Wealthy people are still going to be marrying, because marriage at the end of the day is a business, and marriage unites people. Married women don't want to invite a lot of single women because they're afraid their husbands will be interested. Yeah, but there are some things that you can do without your husband. So, like, I don't know. Okay, like, don't these married people have no single men? Because I'm like, come on, like, what the hell? If you know you have a friend that is single and you invite them to a dinner party, invite a couple single men too. Like, these people are not out there to help you. Like, someone that is someone that actually gives a shit about you, you would know. But 2023, marriage in society is still important. Yes, it is. I hope that no one is surprised that older married women with bored husbands will be suspicious of the pretty single girls. They think single women are on the prowl. Well, some of them are, but you know, that is expected. I mean, what are you supposed to do? So what are some ways to combat this until we get married? Take people off the pedestal and know that you bring value. Marriage conveys status, no denial. You are not insecure like most women, so you don't feel threatened. Yes. Tell people you just ended an engagement, or be very busy and professional, and that gives you status. Yeah, some of those single women they're not really doing that well in their career. Like, that's the thing about a lot of single women. A lot of single women do not have their shit together because they're so focused on getting a man that they forget that they have to work on themselves. This girl is different because this girl is doing well in her career. She has a lot to offer. She does add value, and she is genuinely interested. Like, she's not in the club there looking for a man. She doesn't appear desperate at all. She seems to be very comfortable in her skin, and I know she's gonna get married soon anyways. You can also tell people you're in a long distance relationship and then end it when you meet someone locally. That's a good one. That's a good one. Say like, oh, my boyfriend is moved to Qatar. He's gonna be there for a little bit, and sometimes I visit him. Just make something up. Like, people, listen, you don't really owe people an explanation anyway, but if you want people off your back, just make up something. Okay, that's the advice I would give myself if I was single. But I'm telling you, if I was single, I would have never done what I'm doing right now. That's how much of my time I was wasting in my single time, in my 20s. Like, in my 20s, if I get in a relationship, all my energy and focus would be in that relationship, and I would completely forget my identity and forget that I had other shit going on. That was me. I'm not embarrassed to admit it. That was me. And that's not just me. That's a lot of women. A lot of women can relate to this. You're gonna have to steal at one. Yes, steal at one. You're in a long distance relationship. So any more questions? So anyways, I do have a consultation within the next 45 minutes. So I want to go have something to eat in between that time. So there's another benefit. Marriage can help to focus your energy because you aren't distracted by dating. That is true. If you have a good husband, if you have one of those husbands that suck out all your time, energy, and attention, you're not going to get anything done. There are some husbands, there are some men that will just take everything from you. No, girl, I don't have any affirmations today, y'all. Okay? If you want to know how much my consultation is, girl, send me a DM. Okay? Send me a DM. And, let's book you a consultation. Alright, ladies? I'm not going to give you no scripts or no list. I'm going to give you advice that is tailored to you and your situation. I'm not one of them people. I heard someone said she bought a script. I'm like, girl, really? Yes, dating is so time consuming and stressful. And this is why you have to put yourself in the circles of high quality men. It becomes easier when you are already part of the circle. It's going to take time, especially if you've never done that before in your life. It's going to take time. But it gets better, I promise you. Anyways, ladies, I really got okay. And the comments are still coming in. How to deal with a provider? How takes a lot of energy out of you? How to deal with a provider? That's not a provider. If someone is taking a lot of energy from you, are they really providing? Because that doesn't sound like an equal exchange. I have rules in dating and scripts too. Yeah, I'm not gonna give you no scripts. I mean, I'm gonna give you I don't mind rules, as long as it's not too much. Okay? But because at the end of the day, sometimes with these rules, there's literally no gray area, no black and white. Like, it's too much. And that's why a lot of these people are single in these rules, in the rules community. Okay? Anyways, but do Mira, that is a very long name, girl. That question is weird. Okay, that question is weird. Provider that takes up a lot of your energy, is he really a provider? I don't know about that. If you got someone taking up a lot of your energy, and to the point where you don't even have time to invest in yourself or do things for yourself, listen, that you might be dealing with a narcissist. It's Dobro Mira. Okay. Alright, ladies, I'm going to end the live here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all here next week. I'm not going to go live tomorrow because I do have a meeting tomorrow. Okay, so I'm just doing it here today on Thursday. I mean, if for whatever reason I have time to go live tomorrow, I can do it, but it's not going to be at 5 p.m. All right, so I'll see you all soon. Okay, bye.